Right, I think we're live now. Hello, everyone. So where did we end up after round three? This is round four now. In tier three. So where we ended up, after the Red Bull Ring. So Captain Eli had a bit of a rubbish feature race, but he still leads the championship by 6 points. 6 points ahead of Scotty, who is in second place and is in the new Ferrari. He's got 85 points. Didn't actually get on the podium in Red Bull Ring. Higgsy, after his first win of the season in the feature race, moved up into third place. He's 14 behind Captain Eli. And then in the top five were Jack, who won the sprint, but only scored 2 points in the feature race after an absolute nightmare. He is 22 points behind Captain Eli. And Pyro with P2, his second podium of the season in the feature race at Red Bull Ring. He is 25 points behind Captain Eli. So basically 5 drivers within 25 points. And then there's a big gap to everybody else. So really, if we're talking about the Drivers' Championship, the championship is between Captain Eli, Scotty, Higgsy, Jack, and Pyro. 5 different drivers, 5 different cars as well, which is nice to see. And it also means that the constructors' race is pretty tight. It's a 3-horse race of the constructors. We have the Citroens, who were P1 after round 1, then dropped and then moved back to the top after round 3. They are in first place with 112 points. The Z4s are in second with 109. And the Ferrari 296s, are only 3 points behind the Z4s. So there's only 6 points separated the top 3. And it's really going to depend on how well they do in this one. With how who ends up on top basically after this race. So let me just get the qualifying results up and we can go through the grid for today as well. They're not in the right order. Here we go. So in 16th place, we got the Jag of Gunmad. He's not having a good time in qualifying at all this season so far. Remember, he won tier 4 last season. Hold on, how do I get this down again? There we go. So there's Captain Eli in his Jag. A very nice livery there. Setting at 56.9, which is only slightly slower than what Tap did. Tap's worst qualifying down in 15th in the Z4. Z4 not having a good time of it because he was only a 10th slower than his teammate, the championship leader, Captain Eli, lining up in P14. So clearly the Z4 very, very bad on this track. Maybe it just doesn't turn in with the kind of corners that I hear it does suit certain cars more than others. Up in 13th place, we've got Mo Gaffer, which is pretty standard kind of place for him to be qualifying at the moment. Pretty much the exact same time as Captain Eli as well. All of these guys over 1.1 seconds behind the pole time. Then we've got Cherry, who was a couple of tenths quicker. He is lining up in 12th, so an all right chance for him to get a good reverse grid position like he did previously in Nürburgring and maybe try and get some sprint race points. In 11th, we've got Deco, a little bit of a tough season for Deco so far in the Audi R8 Evo, but he is definitely capable of winning races in this tier, I'm sure of it. So he just needs to find a little bit of confidence, took a week off as well. In the top 10, we've got Sarge, that is, in 10th place. He is 9/10ths off, just very, very slightly quicker than Deco and Cherry in his Nissan GTR 18. And then in 8th place, we got Pyro, so one of our championship contenders. So Eli and Pyro not getting into the top half of the grid. He still doesn't have a number on that number plate. What is going on there, Pyro? Come on, get a number on that. That's what we want to see. There we go. So, top 8, top half of the grid. Who actually made it into the top half? The top half all separated by 7/10ths of a second. Here we have Spin in the AMG. Another one who struggled a little bit in qualifying. He is in the top 8, and it does start pretty decently, the AMG. So maybe he's able to get potentially a top 5 in the sprint here. In 7th place, we've got Skycloud up in the M6. The M6 is very strong around this track. Only 6/10ths off pole here, and only 2/10ths off of second place. So P2 to P7, less than 2/10ths apart from each other. So this next group of drivers, basically absolutely nothing to split between them. Ahead of Skycloud is Hulked in the other Nissan GTR with a 56.2. So we're still not in the 55s yet. Actually, only one driver gets into the 55s from this lobby. Then in 5th place, we got Kling Beast in the other M6, so directly ahead of Skycloud. Definitely the M6's best showing so far this season. 4th place, we got Jack in the other Jag, so he managed to really trounce his teammate in qualifying here, managing to get control of this Jag a little bit better than his teammate. And then the top 3, we've got Scotty, who is 2nd in the championship, lining up 3rd. Half a second still off of pole positions time. In 2nd place, we've got huge qualifying here from Whack to get on the front row. He is good for a good qualifying time. 4/10 off of pole though, and even though this is P2 in this tier, it would have only been a good enough time for 13th in tier 2. So that's kind of the gulf in lap times that we're dealing with between tier 2 and tier 3 at the moment. And then pole position and a huge lap here from Higgsy, one of the quickest of the night in any tier, a 55.6 for Higgsy in his Audi R8 Evo. I think this might be his first pole of the season as well, so absolutely coming out of nowhere to grab a really dominant pole position there. So let me just open up YouTube again, because I've done all that and not even sure if anyone's watching. We do have quite a few comments actually. Good day to everybody. Right, let's get this one going. We've got 8 laps on Maggie here for the sprint. Quite high tyre wear. Well, it doesn't have to be if you know what you're doing with turning in the corners, but I have a feeling some people's tyres might completely go off. Let's see, is everyone actually on the softs? Because I did hear some people in lower tiers doing mediums. Everyone's on the softs. Okay, let's get going. Expecting Whack to completely jump Higgsy here at the start. Let's see if that happens in the Citroen. Lights out. And yeah, hugely fast start for Whack. And it looks like Pyro's getting a pretty decent start there as well. Very poor camera angles. Higgsy's still in 2nd place. He's going to cover that off. And Jack is up into 3rd. Pyro looks like he's up into 4th. Ahead of Holt, Klinger. Is everyone making it through? Looks like Cherry and Goodman, everyone has made it through. Higgsy still in 2nd, just ahead of Jack. And Pyro's up there as well, trying to get past both of them. As we head into this really tricky corner where you can run incredibly wide off of it. Jack putting a lot of pressure on Higgsy, trying to get that position off of him. Whack having a huge lead as we end the 1st sector. And Pyro up into 3rd now, putting pressure on Whack. Jack actually might lose out here, having to take a really tight line through that dip of a corner. I don't even know what you'd call that one. And now it looks like we're going too wide still through the fast S's section. They're going to have to lift a lot because they're going side by side. This might open up an opportunity for Hulk's behind to get past both of them as Higgsy's just driving away from them. Hulk's actually gone off the track, collected Jack a little bit, but they all carry on. Scotty's going to try and get past both of them. Scotty dropping back because that Ferrari has an absolutely terrible launch. He was down into 6th. Looks like he's going to try and go on the inside of Hulk's here. And Hulks might be able to carry some speed around the outside. He nearly loses it. And he continues on for now with Kling just behind. Spin is up into 8th. Kira's down into 9th. Taps had a great start up into 10th. And we've got some issues at the back. Let's see what's happened, because these guys are cut off. Okay. So I guess it's in this downhill swooping corner here. Everyone's pretty close together. You can see Tico's fallen to the back after qualifying pretty decently, and Cherry has as well, so they missed out at the start. And Deco is going to have contact with Eli, and Cherry's going to kind of right him, and Deco's going to let Eli past, obviously, and that is why these 3 have been cut off. But it's early days. Eli's got a bit of damage as well, as does Cherry. Deco doesn't, so these guys will have to try and work to catch the guys in front. Let's go back forward, because let's see what we're doing at the front. Actually, I want to go back and see what Pyro did at the start of this race. Remember, he started 7th. So he just gets a great start, goes straight up into 4th place here. He just stuck it on the inside and just got past everybody. And everyone else kind of just shuffled in behind him. So where were we? We were around about here. So Jack did lose out to Pyro. So we've got 2 Citroens in the top 3. The constructors' leaders have started this race incredibly well. They're completely in control of this sprint race. Whack has to, well, he had a 4/10 deficit to Higgsy in qualifying. So he's got to Oh, Jack's got past Pyro again, so... God, it's all happening here. So what's going to happen with Pyro? I'm guessing he's going to almost lose it here. He does. Goes a little bit wide. Jack just takes that super easily. So Pyro falling backwards a little bit. These guys are fighting for positions in the championship as well. Scotty's going to try and get past Pyro now as well as we finally finish this first lap. I think Wax had a really sloppy final sector because Higgsy's completely closed the gap there. Pyro's lost that position pretty easily to Scotty, just as easily as he lost the position to Jack there. Now Hulked is queuing up to get past him. So maybe Pyro not having the best pace around here. Yeah, he missed the apex of that corner. Looks like he's going to just about stay ahead of Hulked. What's going on a bit further up? Higgsy's fairly close to Whack. Hulked might chuck it in on this corner. Ooh, nearly goes on the grass there. That would have been a bad move. We got Clink Spin and Kira pretty close behind as well. Everyone's pretty close behind. You can even see on the minimap the three who had that incident at the back are starting to catch up now as well. So what can Hulked do here? What can Higgsy do a little bit further up? Is he going to have a go at Whack here on the downhill braking? That huge gap Whack built up right at the start of the race got gobbled up incredibly quickly. Makes the corner pretty nicely. Higgsy's a little bit wide. Jack and Scotty round. Hulked has sent it on Pyro. So how's that happen? Did Pyro leave the door open? So Pyro gone from 3rd to 6th on this lap. We're about to see how that happened. Yeah, Pyro left the door open. He's got no complaints with that one. And now it's going to be Kling, unless Pyro can get past him. Spin's trying to get past Kling as well. It's really tricky, these two corners here, to try and get alongside. People who've been here for a long time might remember that that was the corner that got Hurricane a season ban, actually. Twatting someone into the walls on that fast S section. So Hulk looks like he's getting away slowly from Pyro. Kling is going to put some pressure on Pyro here as well. Now, but to be honest, it's either overtake or be overtaken in this sprint race, because Kling is going super defensive on Spin now, who got a lovely exit out of that final corner. Trying to go the long way around into turn 1. He's got the inside for turn 2. And he just needs to kind of, yeah, he has done it. And now Kira's going to try and get past Kling as well. So these are two teammates battling with each other. Not having a good race, the BMW M6s, at all. For a car that a lot of people think is potentially the meta here. Or at least it used to be. Tap's going to try and get himself into the top 10 here ahead of Sargent. So this is a really good sprint race from the Z4 of Tap. After a poor qualifying. Trying to go around the outside of Kira, that's not going to work. Trying to go around the inside of Kira, that's not going to work. Can Sargent get past both of them here? They are side by side. And we're going to make it 3 wide now. Tap's going to get fully ahead with the great acceleration that Z4's got. But Sargent's still there. It's going to push Tap a little bit wide. They're still 3 wide. This is chaos. Sargent's ahead of both of them. Tap's going to get shoved a little bit out. And Gunman's going to get past. Mo's going to get past. And Tap's just lost 4 positions there. And his teammates not too far behind. This is all chaos. This is for the reverse grid positions. So this is super important for these guys to get right. Goodman's going for it on Sargent now. Kira's going to try and tuck in. Kira's lost a lot of ground to a teammate in these last few corners. Now we're going to go 3 wide again. Mo's going to try and get past all of them. He has to lift slightly. What's Tap going to do? He's caught on the outside of this next corner. Going to call it Hurricane Corner from now on. And that's what happens. Oh no. Oh. It was going so good until this one. What's happening at the front? Let's stop watching them because it's just chaos. Everyone's kind of having a bit of a normal race here. Scotty's under pressure now from Hulk, and Pyro looks like he hasn't lost too much ground to these guys. So his Hulk's going to chuck it into turn 1. Not quite. Really difficult. You can completely send it, but it's super risky. Clean's got himself a half-second penalty, but he's got quite a big gap. Look at this. There's a huge gap to P9 and down. Kira's got herself back up into 9th. Mo's in the reverse grid pole position. Gunman's not far behind. Sargent, who was up in 9th, is being shuffled down behind Eli now, who is trying to recover really desperately here. I don't know. I don't think that Z4 looks that bad around here. I don't know why they both qualified so low. Obviously tap span, but that was nothing to do with the car. Is Sarge going to send it? Not this time. Again, almost on the grass. These guys are flirting with spinning the cars quite a lot in this race. Deco and Cherry are pretty close. Tap is just a long way at the back. But let's see. Higgsy looks like he's got a bit of a run on Wack finally. Looks like he's just been kind of calm behind Wack up until this point. Maybe he's looking after the tyres a little bit. It is a high tyre deg track if you use full lock, potentially if you use on pad as well. Oh, Wack, this is it. Wack went on the gravel, and that's going to be that position really easily swapped there for Higgsy. I'd be hard-pressed to think if Wack can challenge him back, because Higgsy looks super, super quick in qualifying. He might just drive away now. So, new race leader, Higgsy. He's going for 2 wins in a row here after winning his first race in the feature race of the season. Still in the championship contention. Top 5 all separated by 25 points after 3 rounds. And he is one of them, and he's 2 positions ahead of the next guy who's in championship contention, Jack, coming under pressure from another one who's in championship contention, Scotty. And you got Pyro down in 6th, and then Captain Eli down outside the top 10, who's the championship leader. Scotty having a little go at Jack, not really able to do anything there. Now Hulk looking, sticking a nose in, not really able to do anything, nearly losing it on the exit of turn 2 there, Hulk, with Pyro still holding P6 there as well. Now this is the part of the race where tyre deg is going to come in, so let's see who has poor tyres at the moment. Jack definitely does. He's a pad user. Look at that front right tyre. It is not looking healthy. Who is that? Scotty. This is what I've been saying the whole race. Why is everyone so close to the grass in the braking zone? There's no need for it. You can get a great run through the corner without that. To be honest, I'm surprised he only lost maybe like a second or 2 or 3 there. And he lost a few positions there, but he's still solidly in the top 10. Really get out of jail free card there for Scotty. But yeah, what I was doing, well, Jack's coming under pressure now a little bit from Hulk, but he's looking quite comfortable. Wack is doing pretty well to keep up with Higgsy, but let's see who has bad tyre wear. We said Jack had bad tyre wear. Hulk's doing alright in the Nissan, which isn't great on its tyres. Pyro doing very well on his tyres. Spin's doing fine, so is Klinger, so is Scotty, despite the spin. To be honest, apart from Jack, Captain Eli is quite similar to Jack, actually maybe a little bit worse. Still in 13th, still outside the points for the sprint. Then we've got Cherry and Sargent doing alright. Tap's tyres are way better than Eli's as well, so I think it's a pad thing between Jack and Eli really struggling on those tyres around here. Going full lock with the joystick compared to everyone else who, I think, at least mostly everyone else is on. Whoa, what's happening here? Hulk's managed to get ahead of Jack. Jack trying to get past again, and Pyro's in here for a bit of fun as well. This is going to end in tears, I can already tell. Pyro nice and early on the brakes, you love to see. Very responsible. Jack really late on the brakes, but gets away with it. Back up into 3rd place. Hulk's our winner, probably the fastest guy at Nürburgring. And our winner of the sprint race got pole there. Trying to get another podium. Pyro hasn't got a win yet. He's nearing a full year, calendar year, without a Monday League win. So it would be nice to see him get one before the end of the season. And it looks like he's got past Hulk pretty nicely here as well. Oh dear. Is that what was reported? I know Hulk reported Pyro, but I didn't watch the clip. But I think that might have been it. Let's watch it again. Let's do some live stewarding. So, as you can see, we've started braking. Hulk is sufficiently alongside, isn't he? Yes. His front wheel is at least... Actually, is it? Is it aligning? Well, not where I clipped it. But I think that's enough if that Pyro needs to give him space. Especially because he's trying to go the long way around. Pyro needs to take... Oh, you could tell what just happened there. Pyro clattered the inside curb and just gets sent out a little bit and then nudges Hulked completely off the track. So he loses that spot to Pyro, loses the spots to Spin and to Klinger. So Hulk's down into 7th now. Scotty's falling back. I don't know what's happened. Something's happened with Scotty again there. Because he was not that far back. And now he's going to try and get past Hulked in this run down to the downhill hairpin corner that we've got here. He's not going to get alongside though. So it's pretty much as you were going through. Spin's having a great sprint race. This might be Spin's best sprint of the season so far, up into 5th. Managing his tyres fairly decently. I don't think they're going to completely drop off a cliff, despite the AMG being super bad on their tyres. In most places, to be fair. So Higgsy coming around. He's got maybe 2 or 3 seconds on Whack at this point. Managing his tyres pretty nicely, slightly better wear than Whack. I think Whack and Pyro are both racing on pad this season as well, even though they've both got wheels. Here comes Pyro on Jack anyway. So is Pyro going to try and do it around the outside of turn 1 into the inside of turn 2? Jack super late on the brakes, manages to get it turned in. Perfect defending there from Jack. And yeah, Pyro trying a switchback, but Jack placed his car very cleverly to prevent that from being possible. And Pyro ends up giving Jack a little push through the corner. And he might get back on the podium here after dropping back to 6th. Jack taking a really wide exit. You're allowed to get away with that without the game giving you a penalty. Spin might actually be an outside shot for a podium here as well if these two have a bit of to do. Now, if I'm Pyro, I'm not trying a move here. You just lose way too much time. And then Spin's all of a sudden getting both of you. So he needs to line up Jack through the S's. Nail it, full throttle. He's lifting quite a lot, but I think Jack had to lift a lot as well because he's still gaining on him. He does have much better tyres than Jack. Jack's maybe ending this race on completely dead tyres. And this is only 2 times tyre wear. What? Spin's coming under pressure as well. So we've got Pyro trying to go around the outside. That's not going to work. Spin's being caught around the outside by Kling. Kling gets up into 5th and puts Spin back down to 6th there with a fairly opportunistic but pretty decent move, to be honest. Now Pyro's still stalking Jack. Surely it's just a matter of time. Jack is defending very well. He might not have the tyres for it, but this might back Pyro up. We've only got 1 lap left after this corner, but it might back Pyro up into Klinger because Jack, his times must be falling off a cliff here. I'd be surprised if he was in the, yeah, he's going to be in the 58.2 on that lap. I mean, I could set that on a hard tyre with a good lap. So that is pretty bad there for Jack. And there's Klinger now completely joining the train. At the front, Higgsy's still got a fairly comfortable lead. Jack just has 1 more lap to try and defend. Gonna have poor grip coming out of this corner. And Pyro is getting a better exit there, you could tell. Is he going to be able to close the gap though? Because the Jag has some pretty good acceleration. Not really. Oh, and a little bit wide there from the exit. Is Kling going to put a bit of pressure on Pyro now? Pyro. Ooh, a little bit wobbly there for Pyro. That might be a penalty for Kling for cutting that inside corner on the left. He's going to get away with it, actually. Maybe a bit of neck cut. I'm sure that should have been a penalty. But yeah, Jack looks like he's going to get away with it here, somehow. Over the rumbles, Kling goes. And yeah, it's looking pretty standard for these guys as we head through this final sector. So I don't know where Jack's found something from with how dead his tyres are, but it looks like as long as he can get through these next couple of corners, that he's going to keep his podium. But let's join Higgsy. He's coming to the final corner now. Lost the lead, managed to hold on to P2. And Wack had a big lead. Higgsy caught it, and a little mistake from Wack gifted Higgsy the position, and he's just completely driven off. He's getting not going to get the fastest lap. Hulk's going to get the fastest lap, but he does get the pole and the win. Wack with P2. Jack looks like he is just holding off Pyro and Klinger to get the podium. Spin in 6th. Hulk and Scotty having a drag race. Hulk wins out for 7th. Kira gets 9th. Reverse grid pole. Looks like it's going to Deco. So Deco starting from pole position for the feature race, just ahead of Gunman, who's not going to score. Mo, Sargent, Cherry, and then the Z4s in the bottom 2 here. Eli with completely, well, not almost dead tyres. Tap, his tyres are in a bit better position, but he had that big spin. Been lapping in the 57s and 58s ever since. So interesting. Double win now for Higgsy, 2 in a row. First one to actually win 2 in a row, I think, this season. Okay, where's the... There it is. It's interesting because Higgsy's sprint time was quicker than most of the Tier 1 drivers. Tier 1 had a bit of a crazy sprint race by the looks of it, though, because the top 5 in Tier 2 were all quicker than every Tier 1 driver in the sprint race. So something's gone on there. It's probably worth going back to the stream to find out what happened in that Tier 1 sprint race, because it was really slow. A lovely little lap 1 of the feature. Okay, something's going to happen in this feature. So, strategies. Hard, medium. Medium, soft are probably the 2 to go with. I did hard, medium. Starting on the mediums for Deco, hards for Kira, hards, mediums for Hulk, mediums for Pyro and Jack and Wack. And Higgsy. Okay, a lot of people on the mediums. Sarge on the softs. Dear me. Okay, that'll be interesting. Mediums for Cherry, Eli, and hards for Tap. Okay, so Kira, Scotty, Spin might drop back out of the top 5. To be honest, there's a big mix of compounds here. This might be really good for Deco. If the hard runners just hold up everybody else, which is probably likely, to be honest, Deco could get a huge lead at the start of this feature. So let's see what ends up happening. So 21 laps this time. 1 stop versus 2 stop. Everyone's on random tyre compounds for this one. Let's see everyone going through turn 1 pretty normally here. Hulk is the first one on the mediums to try and get moves done on the cars in front, and he isn't able to through turn 1 and 2. Pyro trying to go around the outside of Klinger, which is really difficult to do on that corner, and he doesn't quite get away with it. But let's see, as we exit the final corner of Sector 1, going into the braking zone. Sorry, there we go. Hulk really needs to send it on Scotty, but he's stayed on the outside. Scotty's just lost it on the exact same corner once again. But this was a bit of a weird one, right? Because last time he went on the grass, this time he just forgets to brake. Luckily, he sees what's happening and gets out of the way of Kira. Rejoins on his hard tyres. Oh, something's happened to Spin as well. He's literally span. What's going on? Okay. Loses it on his... This is the problem. Oh, and he hits Jack as well. That is some big damage probably for Jack there. Eli gets a bit of a bump as well coming through as he unghosts right into him. Jack is all the way at the back, so how did that impact Jack? Oh, he span. So, very eventful. So going through the S's for the first time. Everyone's all over the place. Eli came into this round as the championship leader. Didn't score in the sprint race at all. So I think, based on that, he did lose the lead of the championship. I'm not sure, because Scotty didn't score too many points, but Jack got a P3. Little cut back there for Eli to get the position there. That was pretty decent of Eli. Going round the corners here, we got Sarge side by side with Gunmad. Yeah, that's harsh on Jack when you try to win a championship and you get punted to the distant past on lap 1. Eli up into 10th there, somehow getting past Gunmad. Sorry. That was... so he got a great run. Gunmad and Sarge kind of out of sorts there. Eli just super late on the brakes, tucks in ahead in the braking zone. So a great start here for Eli, but I think he's going to be 2-stopping. So he really does have to get these moves done. On the sauce to Sarge up into 9th as well. So he's maybe going to get 6 laps out of these, if he's lucky. He's going to get Scotty fairly easily here. Needs to get his way all the way to the front. Higgsy, our sprint race winner, all the way in up in 7th, and Wax made up 3 positions as well from his starting point. And there we go, Sarge covering off that overtake pretty nicely. Closer to the front, what's Deco up to? Deco, well, Hulk's managed to get his way up into 2nd already, so that's really impressive from Hulk's. He's already passed the hard runners and can start to chase down Deco. Here's the highest hard runner, it's Kira. Everyone's off track there. Pyro's on the mediums, trying to get past Kira fairly soon, so we'll stick with this one. It's all going off though, to be honest. I think I'll just keep my eye on the minimap to see if anyone's spinning around the corner. Looks like everyone's getting through it this time. Looks like Higgsy's got past Wack somewhere, so his Wack made a mistake. Yeah, he just got a poor exit from the Scoopy corner. I think he just lets Higgsy pass as well. Higgsy's on the mediums as well. So everyone on the hards is dropping like a stone here. The tyre difference at the start of a stint is pretty massive. Pyro's not that close to Kira to get the move done. In the braking. Now he's going to have to settle down for a little bit, I think. Higgsy covering off Wack. Sarge still in 8th. Eli, great start here. This is the first time he's troubled the top 10 all week. And is he going to send it on Sarge? I don't think he's going to be able to for maybe a lap or 2. Sarge should have the better tyres. Oh. Scotty's down in 12th now, having an absolute nightmare here. So is everyone at the back, apart from Jack, who's actually caught up to the pack already. Taps on the hards, but he was near the back anyway. Spin, Mo, Scotty, all on the hards. Cherry's on the mediums. Something's happening a bit further up. Sarge is trying to get past Wack here. Looks like Higgsy's got past Klinger as well. And what's Eli going to do? Really sticking it on the inside of Klinger there. Not Sargent, sorry. Not able to make it stick though. I think he's driving like a man possessed, to be honest. Here comes Wack on Klinger. Klinger's on the hard, so him falling back does make sense. This is why, I don't know, it might have been the wrong choice to start on the hards when you're starting a bit higher up. Because you're losing a lot of time fighting all these guys on the mediums. Of course, they're losing time as well. But if you look at the top 2 on the minimap, they are away. Looks like Pyro's up into 3rd as well, so he's got past Kira. Here comes Sargent. Gunmad's got past Eli as well. So I'm wondering if that was a bit of a mistake. Oh no, Eli's back past. So is Sarge going to send it on Wack here? Not yet. Maybe on the exit. Good early acceleration. This is definitely territory where Sarge can send it on the inside of this next corner. It's a good overtaking. You can do a little cheeky dive into this one. doesn't decide to go for that. A bit further up, Kira, Higgsy, Pyro pretty close together. Higgsy's going to try and get past Kira on the hards, who's losing traction there. He's just going to send it, is he? No, Kira covers it off. Deco's still with the lead. 57.6, fastest lap. Pyro a little bit out of shape into turn 1. So what can Kira do? Is she just going to let him through and try and focus on her ultimate pace? Because, well, she's not going to have a choice. You have to think about where your car's going to be at the end of the race, not the cars that you're around right now. That's the problem. Kira obviously going for the 1 stop. Everyone else ahead of her going for the 2 stops. You have to be a nuisance, but you can't be wasting time, and doing 2 laps in the 59s on fresh hards isn't that strong. Now, Wack's going to face the same problem with the other M6. Now the thing is, the M6 is really good around those fast corners. He's going to have to take a tighter line into the corner, which might give Wack an opportunity on the exit here. He's going to get a run. He needs to go on the outside of Klinger right now to make sure he's got the inside for this next corner, Hurricane corner. They both make it through. And here comes Sargent on his softs. Oh, a little bit of contact. Sargent's going to get past. Eli's lurking in the background as well. Maybe I should have started on mediums in mine. I started on the hards and obviously didn't make any progress up the grid, but the grid wasn't as chaotic as this one in Tier 2 at all. Right, here comes Eli. Cherry close behind and Gunmad close behind. And they've both kind of dealt with Sarge pretty decently there. Sarge going to try and go around the outside of Eli again, but his soft tyres are giving up now. Ooh, little bit of contact. And Eli's losing a spot to Cherry now. Not sure if that was the one that was reported. Round the outside for Eli. And loses another spot, so he's losing his head a little bit here. The 2 strats were close. I think when I did my testing, I thought that the 2 stop was about 5 seconds slower. So that's why I stuck with the 1 stop. But maybe that's just for my car, and maybe it's different for different cars. So where are we? Pyro's caught all the way up to Hulk, so this is some good pace that Pyro's showing. Deco's still got the fastest lap on lap 5 here. So he is maybe 3 or 4 seconds out in front at the moment. Pyro's completely destroying Hulks on the straight. And Pyro gets up into P2. So is this going to be his win? He's got himself into fairly decent positions quite a lot of times, Pyro. Now what he needs is to just completely drive away from Hulk. Hulk's tyres wearing a lot quicker. They're both off track there. Higgsy lurking in the background, ready to take a position if either of these guys get a penalty. I think they both got away with it for going slightly off track there. Late on the brakes for Higgsy, a little bit wide through the corner as a result, but it's not really going to lose him any time because it seems like Pyro is going to form a little bit of a train here as the hards might start leveling out against the mediums around about now. Medium runners, depends how long they can do on their soft tyres. If they can get 6 out of the softs, then they'll do 2 sets of 6 and a 9 on the medium, so quite an early pit stop. But there's a lot of wiggle room there because after 9 laps, the mediums on most cars aren't going to be dead. Ooh, almost lost it there for for Hulk, sorry. Right, let's go through the grid, because I don't think I've seen much action. Cherry's still ahead of Eli. Eli settled back into 9th ahead of Gunmad, and Scotty's still there as well. Scotty on the hards, catching up back to a bunch of the medium guys who are having quite a lot of fighting going on. So this isn't the end of the world for Scotty. He's just obviously not having as good a race as someone like, well, as the BMWs are on the hard tyres a bit further up, the M6s. Trying to get into the top 10. Gunmad in the Jag, able to just pull a little bit. Scotty later on the brakes, get it turned in very nicely. Now Gunmad's going to try and use, well, actually just goes for the bump draft. He'd have got that position back if he went round the outside there. But Scotty up into 10th. Spin after a really good sprint, down in 12th. Jack is recovering on his medium tyres, but he's still only 13th. And on his very dead mediums, I've got to add as well. We got Moore, we got Tap. Sarge, who's made his first pit stop, so he pit at the end of lap 5, put on another set of stops, so he's doing 5.5.11, probably, or maybe 5.6.11, 5.6.10. He's going to get a huge undercut on a lot of people, and at least he's the one in the free air. So this isn't a bad strategy. He just has to absolutely nail these few laps where he's going to have free air. Everyone else is kind of separating now. There's not as much fighting going on. Pyro has left Hulk. Hulk is now defending for his life against Higgsy, who's got about 20% better tyres, I would say, than Hulked. Audi, maybe the Audi's the better around here. Based on purely on Higgsy, the Audi is the better. And it's also winning the race. Deco's in the Audi. So he's going to get a good exit through the S's. Is he going to keep it flat? He does keep it flat. Didn't look like Hulk was keeping it flat. And he might catch him right at the best time into the braking zone here, Higgsy. He's getting some good slip. Pulling out. Hulk squeezing him a little bit. Now Hulk has to get a good switch back. Go up along the outside, which he's trying to do. It's not going to be enough though. Higgsy's got that move done by the looks of it. Hulk just tucking in behind. So our sprint race winner already up into 3rd place on lap 7. But we think that he's going to do a 2-stop. And when you think the highest of the hard runners is Kira, only maybe 2 or 3 seconds behind, this is going pretty good for the M6s. Both of them on the hard tyres. Keeping behind them are a lot of drivers on the mediums as well, who are approaching kind of pit stop territory fairly soon. So the fastest lap is still sitting with Deco. Let's see how he's doing. So he's lapped in the 58s pretty much the whole race, apart from that one fast lap. His tyres looking pretty alright. Pyro's been lapping in the 57s and 58s as well, having to get his way up into 2nd. Now he's going to be looking over his shoulder a little bit as Higgsy is going to probably set a pretty quick lap this time round. His rear tyres looking pretty sorry for themselves, but his fronts are looking pretty decent. Hulk's still in the mix. Then we got our hard runners on completely different strategy. Wack starting to put a little bit of pressure on Klinger now. Then we don't have any more hard runners until P11, and Scotty, not a million miles behind, but he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get maybe a top 5 in this one. Because he'll be one of the first cars that these medium runners are queuing up to get past when they catch back up to him. He might end up being a cork in the bottle for the M6s actually. Same with Spin. Medium to, he's going to do hard to medium surely. Jack has to come in fairly soon. He might end up doing a medium soft Jack. But again, he's still not a million miles away from everybody, but he has to make another pit stop. Mo and Tap will get the jump on him. Sarge with the fastest lap now, half a second quicker than anything Deco managed. Only a 57 flat though. Did a 56.9, but it's not showing as valid, so maybe that had a... was that his outlap? Maybe it was his outlap. That's why it didn't count. Deco is first into the pits, and Higgsy is as well. So these guys, after just 8 laps, are coming in. Cherry's followed them in as well. So this means Pyro takes the lead of the race. Looked like he was tiptoeing around that corner. Hulks is in second, and Kira moves up into third. Klinger is in fourth. Wack is in fifth. Scotty. Let's see where these guys come out in regards to, in relation to Sargent, because he had the mother of all undercuts. He is behind Higgsy and he is behind Deco, who are very close together actually. Deco's putting way more fuel than Higgsy this time round, and now Higgsy's gonna, well, they're doing some team orders obviously. Higgsy gets past Deco, so out of everyone who's made a pit stop, Higgsy is the leader. He's up into 10th. Deco 11th. Sargent is ahead of everybody else, but he's going to be coming in for his second stop fairly soon. End of the next lap, I reckon, or maybe the lap after if he can push it. Cherry 13. Eli's come out on the mediums again, so he's doing medium, medium, soft. Same with Jack. Gunmad's on the mediums. Everyone's on the mediums apart from Sarge. So all these other people do medium, medium, soft, which is interesting. No one trying the medium, soft, soft. Unless Sarge goes on to the mediums to the end. I don't know what he's going to be doing because he has quite high tyre wear. So what's happening at the front? Pyro with a fairly comfortable lead over Hulked. And both of them have a pretty decent lead over the hard running cars, who really need to avoid dropping below the 2-minute mark in terms of the lap times for the rest of this stint. That really needs to be their aim. Both lapping in the mid-59s now, with the tyre wear on the hards, because it is pretty big, that tyre wear. Almost as big as Wax on the mediums, which is always really weird at Lago. The hards team tend to wear abnormally fast. So Pyro in the pits, Hulk's in the pits, Wack is coming into the pits as well. Scotty on the hards, I'm assuming will carry on, as will Spin on his hards, Mo on his hards. Everyone on the hards is carrying on. Higgsy has caught up with Tap now, so he's going to maybe try and get an overtake done fairly quickly. And Higgsy, yeah, is basically... Oh, here comes Pyro out of the pits right next to Higgsy. I thought he was going to get him comfortably. And now Deco's going to try and get his way around, so let's see what happened with Pyro coming out of the pits here. There's Higgsy, really late on the brakes, doesn't want to let Pyro get through. Now Pyro caught on the outside of Deco as well. He's on the softs, so he should be able to get past all these people. But Pyro's problem is he's on fresh softs, he's got 3 cars really close in front of him, who are all on a slower compound. Oh, Mo's lost it. There's 1 position at least for Pyro. How'd that happen? Fairly worn hards. This is a tricky con to get out of quickly on the hard tyres. And he's just gonna... Yeah, too much. He janked it. So what's gonna happen now with Pyro? Is he gonna be able to dive bomb Higgsy here? He really needs to, if he wants to win this one. Higgsy's gonna try and get tapped though. That's the problem. They are side by side. Pyro tries to follow him through. Actually, he's gonna be able to because of the supreme grip on that soft tyre. Now Tap a little bit out of shape here. Deco's going to try and get through. Actually, he just gets through quite easily there. So the top, well, basically these are the top 3 of the 2 stoppers. Pyro still needs to get past Higgsy though. So I think the hard runners might do 1 more lap after this and then come in. Do 11 on the hards, 10 on the mediums. That's what I did. I was in the GTR. Which I don't think any of them are actually. But yeah, Higgsy holding off Pyro pretty comfortably at this point. And he's looking pretty in control. He's probably, well, the front guys are just finishing this lap now. Looks like they're coming into the pit. Well, Kira's come in, Klinger's carrying on, so a little bit of a divergent of strategies from the 2 M6s. They're going to have to put in a lot more fuel as well, so they'll drop quite low here, coming out of the pits. And yeah, still Pyro not really able to do... I don't know if he knows that Higgsy's on the mediums and not the softs. But there's no urgency to try and get a move done here from Pyro, which he really needs to do. Kira's out in 14th, nice clear air, ahead of Gunmad, doesn't have to make another pit stop. She's got Eli and Jack in front having a little tussle. These two could probably do with working together a little bit, even though they're championship rivals, having an absolute mare over time. Wack trying to get past Tap here now. Looks like it's going to be fairly easy. This is the problem that I encountered on the hard stint as well. Lap 11, you've got people trying to overtake you and it's just costing you loads of time. And you're thinking, oh, I should have come in earlier, but if I came in earlier, my tyres would die before the end of the race. So it's a catch-22 situation. Which you don't have to, like, it's quite easy to get the overtakes done, I think, at Laggy. So, Higgsy, Pyro having a little tussle in the downhill scoopy section. And Pyro, surely he can get him at Hurricane Corner here. No. Send it in this next one. He has to. You have to send it. You can send it there if you've got better tyres. But Pyro not able to do it this time. They're catching up to Spin pretty quickly here, but I have a feeling Spin, Scotty and Klinger are coming into the box now. You can see Pyro's definitely getting hauled up a lot. He needs to be lapping in like at least the 56s, and I reckon he's going to be in the 57s. Yeah, 57.1 on soft tyres. It's not great. Scotty carrying on again. Okay. On these hard tyres. So Higgsy's going to catch up to him before the end of the lap. Guarantee it. So let's see. Where's everyone settled out to? So Deco's net P3. Hulk is going to be net P4, just ahead of Wack, who's on the softs as well, getting held up, by the way. Cherry's doing pretty well. Net P6 here. This is decent from Cherry. Then we got Jack, Klinger, who is battling with Captain Eli. Klinger doesn't have to pit again. Eli does have to pit again, so he doesn't really want to waste too much time fighting with Eli. Eli gets past. Then you got Kira just behind, obviously held up a little bit coming out the pits. That's why Klinger has managed to get ahead. Also, Kira putting in a lot more fuel as well, so maybe that's how she's lost time. Gunmad in 12th. Spins come out in 13th. Sarge is finishing the race on hard tyres after 2 soft stints. So he might actually finish last here, because Tap's on the mediums and Mo's on the mediums, and neither of them are too far behind. So the only one we're waiting to make the first stop is Scotty. But we're at that period where people might start making their second stop soon. Pyro's still carrying on. Still stuck behind Higgsy. Still lapping in the 57s. Wack still behind Hulk and has a half-second penalty, I could see. Here's Scotty struggling. He's going to hold up Higgsy a little bit, and he's going to be coming into the pits here. Let's see if this causes an issue. No. No. He makes it. Oh dear. I mean, what can you do? What can you do if you're Scotty in this situation? He's like got no grip left. He goes wide at this corner. That's his mistake. So Higgsy's like, all right then, just go on the inside. Pyro kind of pushes him up the inside anyway. Now Scotty's like, what the hell do I do? He's gonna get himself a 3 second because he definitely crossed the pit line there. There wasn't a huge incident at least, but yeah, really tough that for Scotty. I'd have just carried on. You're not gonna lose 3 seconds by carrying on by the end of the race with how much extra tyre you'd have. So where is he going to come out? Bear in mind he's going to have a 3 second as well. Comfortably behind Kira and Klinger, the other late pit stoppers, the one stoppers. Ahead of Spin, behind Gunmad. He could still get a top 10, but this is not good for Scotty at all in this feature race. He's not having a good time. So, Higgsy's got a quarter of a tank left, lead of the race, might have to do some overtaking of the one-stoppers if he wants to win this one, but he will be putting on soft tyres. He's starting to drive away a little bit from Pyro, who's about 50% worn on his tyres now. Deco not too far behind, still having a really solid race here, just set his fastest lap. Was there no penalty? There wasn't. There wasn't a penalty. So maybe it recognised that that he was compromised somehow, I don't know. So it looks like these three are the favourites for the podium. If they can get past the one-stoppers, that is. If not, Klinger is ahead of Eli, who is holding up the other one-stopper, Kira, who was pretty high up. Kira looks like she's just got past, and we're going 3 wide here. A little bit of contact. Oh dear. Hold on, I'm getting this wrong. There we go. So a little bit of contact between Eli and Kira at Hurricane Corner. Kira pushed wide. Gunmad's going to send it. Eli's really late on the brakes. Bit of contact with Kira. Bit of contact with Gunmad. Gunmad gets through. Kira's ahead of Eli, so Eli's lost a couple there. Kira on much fresher mediums. Gunmad doing pretty decently, up into 9th now. Kira just needs to still focus on not losing time though, because I don't know if Gunmad's going to have to pit again. Maybe not. I don't know what tyres Gunmad started on, that's the thing. I want to say that he started on the mediums. Kira comfortably ahead with a decent overtake there. Yeah, Gunmad medium so far. So yeah, this is good news for Kira. Up into 9th ahead of the guys that have to pit again. We'll be hoping she could drive away. Klinger slowly catching up with Jack now, who is again going to have to pit soon. He's already on 50% worn, so Klinger really should be able to get a move done in the next, well, ideally for him, in the next few corners. Can he take it flat out here? No lifting. Early upshifts there for Klinger as well. I know you can get away with some short shifting in the M6. I think you do lose a bit of time though doing that. Maybe he doesn't want to catch Jack too quickly because he's just going to lose time behind him. Not a bad strategy. So, Klinger's definitely not a pit stop behind Higgsy, looking at the minimap. Higgsy just finishing his lap now puts him maybe 15 seconds ahead at the moment. So that means he'll have a huge advantage on fresh softs though coming out of the pits. Kira really has to do Klinger a huge favour here and keep everyone behind when they come out of the pits for as long as possible. And if she can, then Klinger might actually win this race. And also Klinger has to avoid getting held up by Jack here as well. I'm not sure Klinger can win it on his own unless he puts in the defensive performance of a lifetime when they catch up. When are they going to come in? End of this lap? You can do 6 on the softs in most cars. I think the Audi could easily do that. But he's got more fuel at the moment. So maybe he's only going to do... Well, you probably will get away with not fueling so much, which actually will help him a lot. Pyro's definitely on his in lap with super dead softs. Deco could go to the end of the race, but he has to pit for another compound. That's his problem. And Hulks has really done fantastic job here catching up. He's got the fastest lap again. So in the sprint race, he had the fastest. In the feature, 56.6 on mediums, bear in mind. There's loads of people who've been on soft tyres and not managed to get the fastest lap. So this is really good for Hulks in terms of his pace. He's got a good chance of a he's got a good chance of a top 3, but he's got himself a half-second penalty. Into the pits comes Pyro. Now this is going to be super interesting. Where does he come out in relation to the one-stoppers? Whack is in as well. Here's Kira coming into the final corner. Klinger's going to be comfortably ahead. Klinger is past Jack as well. Didn't see the overtake, but that is good news for Klinger. Through goes Kira. Where is the next one-stopper? It's Scotty. Scotty's going to be ahead of them both. So this is interesting. So Pyro's coming out way behind Scotty, crucially ahead of Spin. And then Whack is down in 13th now. So they got a lot of work to do. Maybe get an undercut done on Higgsy. That is not an impossible thing to do. Pyro's got to, well, is going to catch up to Scotty eventually, who's just chilling behind Captain Eli and Gunmad, who are going to eventually come in. Surely everyone else is going to come into the pits at the end of this one. Here's the half-second penalty for Hulks, but I have a feeling he might still be able to catch Deco before the end of this one. So it's looking really good for Klinger. Slowly catching Cherry now. Still lapping in the 57s. Klinger yet to win a race this season. So let's see, is Higgsy coming in? But I don't think he's got enough fuel to do one more, to be fair. Yep, in he comes for a short soft stint, a five lap soft stint. Hulk's carrying on one more time. He's going to have super fresh tyres at the end of the race. Deco not having to put in much fuel. He could come out ahead of Pyro potentially. Klinger going for it on Cherry. Cherry is going to try and pit. He does. He might get a 3-second for that as well because he definitely crossed the pit line. Jack is going through. He's not ready to pit just yet. Kira, where is she? She has gone through. She is ahead of Higgsy. Higgsy's coming out now. Higgsy is ahead of Scotty crucially. Deco's ahead of Scotty. Scotty is in 7th now, and Pyro's down in 9th with a half-second penalty, stuck behind Eli and Scotty. Eli has to pit, Scotty doesn't. Deco and Higgsy comfortably ahead. So that is a net 1, 2, 3. That's a net P5 for Pyro now, of people who don't have to pit yet. Down in 9th place, actually 6th. Pyro's down in a net 6th place. So that has not worked out well for Pyro. He's having to put in too much fuel, I reckon. Klinger is our net race leader. He's got past Jack, he's got past Cherry, who ended up pitting. Hulk is the last one who has to come in, and then Klinger's going to have the lead. And he's going to have his teammate holding up Higgsy here. So this is the battle we need to look at. How much of a fight... Oh dear, is that going to be a penalty for Kira? Well, she's going to be slow as well, nearly losing it there. Looks like no penalty, but Higgsy, with super fresh softs, needs to get past Kira pretty much immediately, chased out Klinger, and maybe we'll get a 3rd win in a row if he could do that. I would want to be in Higgsy's shoes right now. Even though the other two are teammates and they're in a great position, Kira needs to go super defensive here, which she is. She's doing everything right. Now is Higgsy just going to get the cut back? Yes. Yeah, too easy. Absolutely nothing really that she could do, or nearly spins it. As a result, Deco's a little bit too far back for it to be an issue, but Deco is going to catch up fairly soon. So we might have a double Audi podium here. Now that'd be interesting. That would absolutely catapult them into the constructors conversation as well. So everyone else coming back into the pits. We're starting to see what the order is meant to look like now. So we've got Klinger up in P1 with maybe a 2 or 3 second lead only on Higgsy. Needs to keep him behind long enough to allow the soft tyres to start to die, essentially. Higgsy P2 in the Audi. Another M6 in P3. Chased down really quickly now by another Audi. So the top four, all the same cars. 2 M6s and 2 Audis. Deco with a half-second purple opening sector. Gonna lose a lot of time behind Kira here though. Scotty in P5 as well is gonna get caught by Pyro over the next few corners. Then we've got Hulks in 7th after his late pit stop, so he's gonna have the freshest tyres. Kira going wide again, just like on the previous lap. Now Deco's having to be careful, but does get the move completed fairly comfortably there. So Deco is up into 3rd place. Kira is in 4th. I don't think she's going to have anything to fight back with. I think she's just going to hope that Scotty can keep Pyro behind. Pyro in 6th now. Spins in the top 10 on his one stop. Cherry on fresh softs is heading off a big group of cars. The 2 Jags behind. And then we've got Mo, we've got Tap in 14th, just ahead of his teammate Eli. Tap is on old mediums, Eli is on the softs. This is a hard versus medium. Eli's coming through on his teammate there to at least get an extra point for his troubles today. Sarge with a soft hard strategy is definitely not working out for him. So this is where we need to watch. Is Higgsy going to be able to do it? He's just set the fastest lap of 55.1, which is insane, by the way. That is the quickest lap of anyone in any tier in any feature race on Monday, by the way. So low fuel obviously and fresh softs, which you don't get in a qualifying session, but yeah, this pace has just come from absolutely nowhere for Higgsy. Obviously the Audi's pretty strong around here. He's gonna completely get Klinger before this corner even happens by the looks of it. And yeah, absolutely nothing anyone could do unless Klinger, no, he just doesn't have the grip to try and get back alongside again on the exit. So, barring a big mistake, Higgsy is going to get 3 wins in a row, which doesn't happen often in LR in any tier, that you actually get 3 wins in a row. So that's a really exclusive club that Higgsy is potentially joining. Klinger does have a fairly decent chance of hanging on to P2 though, which again would still be his best result of the season. Deco obviously on the better tyres, but is a little bit far behind. Kira getting caught now by Scotty, both of them on mediums here. Pyro's about to get overtaken by Hulked. Hulked on fresher tyres than anyone else on the track right now, on the softs, and is into 6th. So Hulked might have a chance of getting into the top 4, with the other 2 on really old tyres ahead of him. Might be worth watching this little battle. But yeah, Scotty's having a good final stint as well, to be fair to him. Higgsy to tier 1. I don't think he should be in tier 1. No. Let's see how he does back in tier 2 next season. I think a promotion into tier 2 is not out of the question. So is Hulk going to be able to get a good exit here on Scotty? He is, and he's already pulling alongside. Scotty's going to have the slipstream of Kira though, as we head into the penultimate lap now. Much later on the brakes there for Hulk. Is going to try and tuck in ahead of Scotty. Scotty's almost, oh, a bit of contact. These 3 are all in the same eSports team, by the way, the V-Crap team. We've got 3 VR drivers, 4th, 5th and 6th. And Hulks does get past. What about Pyro? Is Pyro going to be able to follow him through? Hulk's trying to get past Kira as well, around the outside into the next corner. So Hulk's making really quick work of these overtakes. Very, very wide there for Hulk. Manages to avoid a spin. Scotty's in the mix now as well. Don't go 3 wide here. This is a bad idea. Kira's got completely deep, so Hulk's going to get through. Scotty's going to try and follow him through. Pyro doesn't know where to go. Nearly loses it. Actually still makes an overtake somehow, despite almost losing the car there. So there's 1 position for Pyro. Now he's got Scotty on old mediums. He's on pretty old softs now though. Almost identical wear on the 2 tyre sets, so Pyro's tyres are still going to be better. Look at that. He's really not treating these tyres very kindly. Hulk completely driving away from these guys. Scotty's doing a good job holding him off, to be fair to him. So it's interesting because P1, obviously the fastest guy of the night, did the 2-stop. Medium soft though. P2 did hard medium. And it looks like he's going to get away with it. Let's see, how close is Deco? Deco is fairly close. And he as well did the medium soft, but I still think the 1-stop was very slightly better. If you take into account the pace advantage Higgsy has on pretty much the entire field here, doing a 55-1 in a feature race. I think Klinger's done insanely well on that 1-stop. Is Pyro going to be able to get past? Kira's just completely dropped off the back of both of them. And yeah, I think Pyro's losing his grip now. He's not really pulling alongside Scotty in the corners and the traction areas. What about Deco? Deco's pretty close to Klinger. This could be an Audi 1-2. This might be his last chance of getting it. Good exit. Again, you need to pull up along the outside. He's not been it. Is he going to do it? No, he's not going to be able to do it. Right, let's see. What about Pyro and Scotty? Scotty holding him off very well. Oh, he's out of fuel. Scotty is out of fuel after all that. He was about to get a P5. He's losing positions left, right, and centre here. And there's quite a... Well, there's... I don't know. He might lose a lot of positions here. Let's go to the front. Higgsy is going to take a double win, almost a perfect week, apart from he didn't get the fastest lap in the sprint. Klinger P2 does hold off Deco into third, but a first podium there of the season for Deco. I'll be really pleased with that. Hulked in fourth place. Solid strategy from Hulked. Fifth place for Pyro. Sixth, Kira holds off Whack in seventh. Spin is going to get 8th on his 1-stop strategy. In the AMG, that's pretty difficult considering the tyre wear on that one. And then Jack recovering to 9th, which I think is pretty decent. Cherry in 10th ahead of Gunmad. Then we've got Captain Eli is 12th. There's Scotty. He's still... There's Mo. Mo's going to be 13th. Tap's going to be 14th. Is he going to beat Sargent? I think he does. He beats Sargent, so Sargent gets no points. Scotty gets a single point instead of all the points that you get for a 5th place. So, what does that do to the standings? I know for a fact that it puts Higgsy in first place. He's absolutely leapfrogged everyone into first. He is now a huge... So bear in mind, 25 points separate the top 5 coming into this. Higgsy has a 25-point lead over second place, which is Eli. He's got a 30-point lead over Pyro, who's up into third. Despite not getting a podium this race, he scored a 4th and a 5th. And then a point behind Pyro is Scotty, and a point behind Scotty is Jack. So the top... Well, there's 25-point gap between first and second. Then there's a 7-point gap between second and 5th. Kling Beast up into 6th ahead of Hulk, Whack, Spin and Mo in the top 10. And Citroen still have the lead in the constructors. Audi are now in 2nd ahead of Ferrari. So we're in Fuji next week, which is going to be favouring the MR cars again, I think. I think the 458 was the meta car last time we were here, but obviously that's banned in this tier. So I have to see which one comes out on top. So thanks for watching.